like
yoga pants.
Yeah. I never know what to call them because I'm like running pants.
Right.
Yeah.
Not sport leggings.
So non-casual, not athleisure.
Right.
Just real
Sport leggings. Yeah, real
Alright, let me pull this up. So when are you finishing your trip? I should probably say this for the podcast, but I'm just curious.
We'll be leaving Pittsburgh on the 4th.
Oh, okay.
And we will be back in Orlando on the 9th. We're doing something absolutely crazy.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to Washington, D.C. on the 4th.
Wow.
Good luck with that.
We're aiming to be there at like sunrise so we can film the Exorcist steps and then be in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
So we're trying to like get in and out before they get crazy.
Yeah, there might be tanks. Whatever it is. I don't think there's going to be tanks. I feel like it's a little late. I feel no, because it was like Trump wants tanks on the 4th. And I'm like,
wait, really?
Yeah, and it's like, it's a little late for that, buddy. It's July 1st.
Yeah. You can't just... One cannot just order tanks for DC.
I agree. Jesus Christ, dude. You can't just be like, deploy the tanks. They have to approve a budget. I know how government works. I really don't.
I love the idea there's just like one like tank accountant who's like, well, did he put in a W-4 for that? Well, then we can't do it. Paperwork is paperwork.
Did it work if we prop it up, or should we just grab it like...
I would say grab it.
Right.
We've tried propping it up before, and it's better if you just do it like man on the street.
But if I start singing like Bob Hope?
By all means.
I mean, we sing. It's a problem. So
Do you want me to get closer to me?
no. Never.
Okay, so in terms of intro, so usually we do like a short introduction.
I feel like we can keep it brief. Just be like, "Hi, it's us. This is the podcast," and then be like, "We have guests."
Is this live?
Really exciting. No. Oh God, no, no. This will go out on the 4th, though, right?
Yeah.
Right? Oh my God.
The day you're leaving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So you can listen to it on the way down and be like, Jesus,
Sure will.
why did we waste an afternoon doing
like
this?
crazy breathing on it, like.
I was gonna say, could you both? I just want to check your levels.
Oh, test?
Yeah, just a little.
Hello, it is Michael. Hello, this is closer. This is like right up in there.
Okay.
I would say right up in there. Is
Right
fine.
up in there?
Like kind of how I have it.
Okay.
I mean, not like right here, but
Yeah. And
No, we're
it's
good.
not like against
like
your
a
lips,
check on
but.
mic, so you have to like go right into the center of it.
you.
Which I am only
Is
saying
it
because
covering?
I'm constantly trying to
it's
do
not covering.
this. Like I'm like putting it on like lipstick, and Amanda's
Yeah.
like, no one can hear you. Yeah.
Like, you'll just be like, and let me tell you, you haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, I have the worst mic etiquette though. It's pretty bad. So, yeah.
You're fine. I think you're both good.
Right. And as far as sharing the mic goes, like, if one of you has something to say to each other, just like give them a little squeeze. I mean, you
Okay. And you
have
the
a
main
pretty
mic,
good
so
rapport,
you're
I
good.
guess. So.
I mean, you're married. Okay. So,
Unanimous.
so we can. So we're just gonna do a really quick intro.
Okay.
And then we'll just kind of go from there. So usually how we do this
Yeah,
is
just
we'll
keep it up to your face and like as a habit.
You don't have to keep it up while we're doing the
There's a
intro.
movie called Dark Backward, starring Judd Nelson from
Breakfast
Club, and he plays this comedian who's like so awkward. He's called Marty Malt, and he's like, "Hi guys,"
Dark backward?
and he's like, "Is it working over here?"
Oh God.
Is it like a? That's a weird role.
And Bill
for him.
Paxton's in it too, and like he plays.
I've
this,
never
like,
heard of this.
It's crazy. It's called The Dark Backwards.
I have to check it out.
I'm gonna write
I
that
saw
down right now.
because I was I'm a film critic technically, but
That could be a recommendation. The Dark Backwards.
Perfect.
all right,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, I did I still get like screener and like announcements, and there was one. I get ones for like not even straight to DVD. I don't even know if it's like not even straight to streaming. It's like it's gonna be straight to streaming, and you're not gonna be able to find the movies. And one of them was Judd Nelson, and I want to say like the Steven Dorff, and I was like, oof.
That actually sounds familiar.
Steven Dorff.
Yeah.
He was in The Gate.
Yeah.
And he's like one of those. He's like a holdover from like the sleazy 80s, like 90s kind of celebrity. He was in Blade.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was
that's
like,
right.
I was
Heard of
okay.
it.
I was like, wait,
He
he was
did
in
one not that long ago, and it just like.
He's like the more
Yeah.
serious
Yeah.
Edward Furlong. He's like the same people.
I'm sure he would love that comparison. Okay, I'm gonna do an intro. You actually don't have to do that. You can hold it though.
Yeah.
So it's not.
We'll do like a really quick intro and then just like launch in. And then I don't know like
You can just hold
how.
it like casually.
Right?
You should hold it like here, and whenever we want to talk, we'll just lean in, and then you can watch us bump
What if
heads.
it, yeah.
I was gonna say I don't want you to like
Love that.
Bump heads.
do some like real some stability training over there. Okay, let me do the intro real quick. Welcome to Ghoul On Ghoul, everybody,
Hi, welcome to Ghoul On Ghoul. I'm Sarah.
and I'm Amanda.
And Ghoul On Ghoul is a supernatural, sex-positive horror comedy podcast featuring first-person encounters with the paranormal and other creepy, cool stuff.
So we have a pretty exciting show. This is a show.
Oh, Jesus.
We have a pretty exciting show. I through a friend named Holly. Holly, you probably don't listen to this, but thank you anyway.
The best kind of friends.
No, the best kind of
The
friend.
best kind of friends don't listen to the podcast.
No, that's how you know they're smart. But yeah, a friend of mine, Holly, reached out to me and said, "Oh, I have this friend who's in town, and he has this really cool YouTube channel where he and his wife go to sites, haunted sites, or creepy sites all throughout the United States." And I was like, does he want to be on my podcast? And they're here. So
In front of us.
In front of us at this very moment. But yeah, did you want to say anything before we just get right into it?
I'm so psyched for our guests. I spent the entire day in front of my computer just like binging their YouTube channel.
Oh, no.
Super cool. I mean, maybe not the entire day. That's a lot. And I did actually do work, I promise.
To be
Bill,
fair.
if you're listening. Bill's no, we have to cut that out. I should not talk about that. Bill's my boss and he's so hot. Oh wait, you're filming this. Whatever, that's fine.
We're fine.
Jill, my boss, is so hot. Anyway, no, I was very excited to learn about you guys, do some research, just want to get right into it.
Yeah. So we're not going to waste time jerking off to our own bullshit. We're going to get...
Which is what we usually do.
Which is truly what we
Our usual shtick. Sorry, guys. Oh, also, happy July 4th, I guess, whatever.
Is this July 4th now?
It will be July 4th when this is released.
Okay. Happy July 4th, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really ambivalent July 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a day. There's no mail.
We'll be tubing when this happens, so
Hopefully.
I'm gonna be drunk on a river, just sailing down the Yakagani, living life.
Drinking and pissing in the river.
I've never done that.
The best, wait. What's the Chattahoochee who sang Alan Jackson?
Yeah. Was it Alan Jackson?
I think so, yeah. Your boyfriend would know.
Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie, but I learned how to swim and I learned who I was, a lot about living and a little about love.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's literally the entire song.
I've never heard of it.
But instead, way down yonder, way down...
On the Yakagani?
On the Yakagani.
What rhymes with gainy? Shit.
No, I'm not doing this anymore. Anyway, I regret ever even starting down this path. Anyway, we are here with Michael and Jessica, and we're so happy to have you here because you don't actually live in Pittsburgh, which is a rare thing for our guests. Actually, I think you're the first.
Jesus, yeah. Welcome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us. I actually, you know what? I am very happy that my chair is really squeaky.
These chairs.
It's perfectly fitting for what we do.
It's very squeaky.
Wait, maybe that sounds a little different. Never mind.
No,
it's fine.
Oh. Do you really think we haven't made that joke?
We are also a sex positive podcast too, so it's like, well, if our guests must make love It is fitting for our podcast. Thank you.
Are we just gonna be Howard Stern? Are we just gonna have live sex on our podcast?
Did that happen on Howard Stern?
Maybe not.
I don't.
I feel like it probably did. That sounds like something he actually would do.
I know he's had like, the
Like
first
behind
naked
a,
woman on radio.
wall or behind like a sheet or something where you can actually see them because they do also video for theirs.
Probably.
But, yeah, I feel like they probably did something like that.
I will say the first naked woman on radio. That's a funny bit, right? Because it's like you don't see him, but the sex is just like, well, that's not.
Yeah.
I don't think you need that. But,
Yeah. That was the 90s, everybody. Naked
God.
women on the radio.
Naked women on the radio.
Anyway, so you are doing a very interesting project called GrimmLifeCollective. How long have you been doing this?
She's got notes.
Shut up.
Son of a gun.
I also have notes.
I'm so unprepared.
No, you're not. You don't have to be prepared. You're just talking about what you do.
Oh gosh. All right. No. So Grim Life Collective started in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh. Yeah, and you're from Pittsburgh.
Correct.
From here.
Yeah, originally from here. Grew up in Crafton, born and raised,
Woo!
and did it for probably about 10 years.
Really?
Traveling. And Grim Life Collective originally was a website, GrimmLifeCollective.com. It's not there anymore, so don't go. It's boring. And one day, I realized that people would rather watch something than read something. So I let the website go and started doing videos.
Ooh.
And at first, they were really, really horrible. And I used to tell people, if you're going to watch them, make sure you're drunk.
Oh, okay.
Because they'll be
Already
better.
there.
But, I mean, I'm not saying we make the greatest videos or anything like that, but we've gotten more comfortable in our skin. And
I actually think they're pretty good. I think the quality is there.
Thank you.
I mean, from what I've seen.
Thank you.
We always feel like we could have done something better, or we forget things. I'm sick, by the way. I'm sorry. So I'm kind of screaming at you guys right now, and it's probably not even coming through. But it's one of those things where we try not to review our content because every artist will say, "I put it out there and I don't look at it because I will constantly keep looking at it and going, I missed this, I missed that, I could have done it better."
Yeah.
So like we thank you for thinking that we do good quality stuff. We're over here going, nah.
They're all going to laugh at you, Karen.
No. Press enter. Just do it.
I mean, that's the same with this. Like I was explaining to you guys before, our old podcast equipment, it was basically like, it might work, who knows, fingers crossed, and...
Yeah, I really feel you with the, like, don't review your work because you always see the flaws in it.
Mm-hmm.
I have, like, this, like, either I am, like, so narcissistically full of myself or I'm, like, so cruel to myself, and there's never just a, like, hey, buddy, you did a good job.
Yes.
Yeah, it's either, like, oh, my God, I was hilarious, I'm
Yeah.
the best in the world, or...
There's, like, no in between.
Yeah.
It's not like,
It's like, what a dumb
that was
idiot.
acceptable. Or
Yeah.
just kind
Right.
of like, oh, that was complete shit. You're like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
I review things because I'm like, I like to be I like to say that I'm the comic relief of what we do because it used to be that we shot on our iPhone, so I would actually be in charge of like the camera for a lot of shots. But now that we got this big fancy camera, he tends to hold. It's because it's so heavy, I can't hold the damn thing.
Yeah.
And, so now I just don't know what to do with myself. Like we want to do it together, but so I'm always in the background doing something stupid.
Yeah, no, from the videos I've watched, it seems like you both definitely appear on screen for parts. I do like the sort of, I mean, the images you project are basically what you look like. I mean, I'm looking at you now, and it's like, oh, okay, we're just seeing you. But I think like with some things, like a ghost, I don't know, like a Chris Angel type or something, it's like, ooh, it's like a persona, it's like,
Right.
No,
ooh,
it's
I'm like
just straight up us.
No, yeah.
I like to think that our videos are very Ed Wood-ish.
Oh, yeah.
So
For sure.
back in the day when we first started making videos and we were very overly critical about ourselves, we would do 30 takes. It
What?
was so annoying.
Oh,
yeah.
no, we don't do that.
Right?
No,
Right?
Jesus, I'm just like, Amanda will fix this or it exists in the world. I don't care.
Post.
Right.
So like as we started getting more comfortable because
It was exhausting.
yeah, we basically you have this camera right in front of your face, and whether you look good or not, or you're tired, you got bags under your eyes, you're telling people things, and if you do it wrong, they're gonna let you know it. And if you do it right, they're gonna let you know it. So no matter what, you can't do anything perfect.
Especially on YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is the worst commenters.
So no,
So that was one of my questions that I also have notes.
We love the
Virgo
negative
moon
comments
and
as much as we love the
Oh my
positive
God.
comments.
Okay,
No,
cool.
as long
I
as
was
people are
like, do
watching
you
you.
read the comments? Because I know I also do like a lot of social media marketing as my day job. So it's like I know how important engagement is, good or bad,
Right.
to views and all of that stuff. So it's like you guys read the comments.
Every single one, and we laugh at them all.
Good.
It used to be that we would try to respond to every comment that came in, but as we started doing this more frequently, we just couldn't keep up with the comments. So ones that'll jump out at us, we will. But so sometimes you only get like 5 comments on a video, but we just had one kind of go viral. It's up to
Was it
800,000 views.
That
Yeah.
roller coaster ride?
Yeah.
Roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
And so I think the comments are up into, is it in the thousands or just the hundreds?
It's got
Like 15,000, I thought.
almost 850,000 views. It's got 15,000 likes and just about 2,000 comments. I
You
think.
can't
Oh
keep
my
up with
God.
that. No, it's impossible. I mean, we see them as they come in, and so like we'll try to catch it as it comes in. But you know, we're
Impossible.
off.
Right.
Either we have a real job, you know.
Yeah.
It's just impossible. So we do try to go through and talk to people as much as possible. But half the time they're also talking to each other.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's okay too.
That's bad. Yeah, I saw because I was looking at like your like community portion of YouTube, and there was like a post about like I don't know maybe a month ago where you're like, hey, we hit like 3K followers. That's awesome. And then I was like, wait, they have like 7 or 8K right now, and I was like, oh my god, in
It
1
happens
month.
so
And I was like,
fast.
it must have been the roller coaster video.
Yeah, it
That's
happens
crazy.
so fast,
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, people are like sluts for Harry Potter.
Right.
You got
I mean,
They're sluts for a children's book. Yeah.
if you've never been, it actually really is so submersive. It really is like being in the actors come out because apparently Universal did it so well. It was better than their sets that they recorded on.
What?
Yeah, and actually, one of the restaurants, which is I believe the Three Broomsticks, was already built in Universal Studios Orlando, and they modeled theirs in the movie after our restaurant because it was already up and perfect. It looked exactly what it was supposed to look like. And
Oh shit.
So in the movie, it's actually replicated after our restaurant.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's nuts. And you both live in Orlando. We should probably.
we do now, yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So
Yes.
confirmed.
I'm
Can you
gonna-
confirm?
Michael and Jessica are doing a really good job sharing a mic together on their first podcast, which I was like, just wanna let you guys know most podcasts are better than ours.
Yes. I just want to say, we did not make it easy for you guys.
No.
I did
I
try
just
to
got
get
him back to the face on purpose.
I tried to get another mic, and because I just didn't organize myself, it didn't happen. So please, thank you so much for being
That's
patient
okay.
with us.
We're used to hands-on making it on the fly, so this is kind of really perfect.
Cool.
I will say, like, when I was like, we have 2 mics, you're gonna have to share. You both were like, that's cool, Daddy-O.
Right.
You didn't actually.
Just like that too. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, they came in with their berets.
These 2 beatniks. Get a job, beatniks.
Stop writing poetry.
It
So
doesn't
I'm
make any
curious.
sense.
You told me earlier, since this is a sex positive, I guess relationships are sex positive, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
So you're from Pittsburgh, you're from St. Louis.
Yeah.
I'm pointing respectively. So how did you 2 meet? Was it in Orlando? Like,
I just told this
Aw.
story to Michael's daughter the other day because she was really. It was my first time meeting my in-laws and the family here in Pittsburgh. It's my first time in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. It's so beautiful. I love it here.
Oh, thank you.
Minus the snow. I dealt with that already in St. Louis, and I'm not coming back.
oh, I can imagine.
Word.
But if you didn't have it though, I would probably move here if it.
It's so fun. I will say this is a very horror-centric city if you're into that.
It's so beautiful to look. I was
Thank you.
not expecting the landscape here, the view, the traffic. There's like no traffic. I'm flipping out.
I'm glad you said that because people act like there is, and it's like,
Oh my
I
God.
know.
It's so relative. I'm like, the traffic's insane here, but it's like, yeah, coming
It's
from
like that one road,
Florida.
that only
yeah,
one road, like
yeah,
4 to
yeah.
6. Yeah.
No, I totally get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been driving all over Pittsburgh, the area, from like Butler County all the way down, filming
Oh wow.
and different locations. And out of everything that she has seen, I told her about the winter parking chairs.
Oh.
And she was like,
yeah.
what?
Here's the thing though. I've heard that other cities use parking chairs, but I can't remember which ones. I want to say Chicago.
Whatever,
could be wrong.
Chicago.
I feel like St. Louis does that too. Yeah, so they just use whatever they can find.
Oh, not chairs.
I don't put my grandkid out there.
Bobby, go outside.
I think I've seen tables and stuff or just anything that they can probably find. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So to get back to your question, how we met is that we were friends for a long time over social media.
Oh, cool.
I think we officially met through Instagram because he was putting out some sick content, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. And just followed him for a long time, and you get to talking and stuff like that. And we actually, the other day, we were talking about it on our road trip up here. It took us 2 days to drive to Pittsburgh from Orlando. And I actually went back and tracked my very first comment, and I started like tracking our whole engagement process over, I think it was in, man, I don't remember. I'm really bad with dates. But it's like he's trying to shove the microphone in my mouth.
That's love.
Yeah, right. Love is just constantly fucking with the person you're in love with. Exactly. And you're like, this is gonna totally mess with them. Yeah.
If he didn't fuck with me, I would think something was wrong. You know, I'd be like, baby, what's wrong? Like,
that's
seriously.
nice.
I've had therapists tell me, I don't know what you're doing. I can't tell if you're happy, if you're sad, you're angry, what's wrong?
You're just fucking with me. Yeah. Long story short is that we had become friends over social media, and we both went through a period of really bad abusive relationships where, you know, it's one of those where people, it's like you're not allowed to talk to other people, so you cut them out of your life. Yeah. And it happened to the both of us, and after we were both single, not unbeknownst to each other, of course, and doing the healing process, you kind of go back through and go, okay, my dearest friends, I am so sorry, I'm myself again, I'm not being manipulated by another person, and I can think for myself again, sorry about that. You do this round of apologies, you know, your apologies, that you cut someone, you allow another person to dictate what you can do with your life and who you can talk to, and that's just not acceptable. And then we just started talking even further, and one day, it literally happened because we were talking, and I meant to say, I love your face. What I said was, I love you.
This was less than a month after we reconnected.
Oh my God.
I was living in Savannah, Georgia, and she was living in Orlando. And I was driving, and I remember the exact intersection I was at when she said that, and I went, I love you too.
Completely stopped talking though. Like, so there's just like this period of silence. I said it, and I paused for maybe 2-3 seconds, and I went, well, that just happened.
Wow.
And I kind of paused again, thought about it, and I was like, I'm not taking it back, I meant it.
Whoa!
And that he hadn't said anything all this time. I was just like, can you say something though, please, right now?
And then it gets better.
Okay.
I gotta get all sappy or
it
anything
gets
like
better
that.
than that?
But keep in mind, up until this point, we've never met. It's all been online, right?
Yeah.
And then, so this
like
was,
FaceTiming and stuff
so
like that,
she reached out to me via email while I was working in the most haunted house in the South.
Yeah. What's the most haunted
giving
house?
ghost tours and paranormal investigating.
I have also done ghost tours too, so we can talk about being ghost tour veterans in a second. But go ahead.
And so she reached out to me, and so that was Halloween.
Halloween. Yeah.
Christmas Eve, we met for the first time, and I proposed to her in front of Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World.
What?
A couple months later, May 1st, we got married in Savannah. And it's been 2 years and never
Oh
been
my
happier.
God, I'm gonna take the mic. You bold bitches. I love both of you so
just
much.
know it, you know, like we talked about it, and we automatically knew that we wanted to be married. But the thing was, before we started kind of, you know, dating, we never hit on each other. It was never a discussion. It was never. I never even looked at him like
not
that.
flirty,
Right.
not like
No,
Just respect.
I mean, I could admit, like, if you asked me, hey, do you think this guy is handsome? I'd be like, yeah, he's cool.
Right, like objectively, yeah.
But I wasn't like, you know, sitting at home going, this guy's so hot, I want to date him so bad. It was just like, oh yeah, that's my good friend Michael. Like, he's a fucking cool guy. You know, like, stand up, good motherfucker, sorry.
Wow. Stand up, good motherfucker.
Stand
Yeah.
up, good motherfucker.
Put that on a shirt.
An SUGMF.
And, so he did it in front of photographers.
Oh, look at your blonde hair!
Ooh, she's
wow.
blonde
I used
in
to
this
be a
picture.
blonde. Platinum blonde, long
Yeah,
Wow.
girl. I mean,
Yeah.
like you look great there, but that upkeep. Like I'm a dirty blonde, and this is still like a
I'm just
job.
swimming in salt water because this is what happens. This is what blonde is left from that.
It looks great though.
I was gonna
It
say,
felt
I
like
thought you did it on purpose.
It looks like.
It fell out a clump.
Okay, that's not great. But I love that we went from like the most foolishly romantic story to
To,
like hair
that's
care.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to our podcast. Oh my god, that's great. I'm on my period and I'm full on trying not to weep right now, guys. Like this is like
I did
emotional
not
torture
expect this to
in the most beautiful way. Oh my
You have no
god.
idea how actually happy that makes me that you're on your period right now, because I was like timing mine out. I had mine right before we had the trip, and I was like, awesome! I'll be less of a bitch on this trip.
Dude, having a period on your vacation is just like, oh, are you fucking
Yeah.
kidding me?
Well, because I mean, being trapped in the car, and you know,
Yes.
PMS
PMS is a big thing for me. When I switched from the hormonal IUD to the copper guy, I was like, this will be better. I can like flow with the moon because I'm a witch, and I was like, that's somehow important to me. And now I'm like, I gotta get the hormonal one again because I never.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
2 weeks before my period.
Right.
I get all like, not double D's, but like, because I'm gonna get A cup, so a B is huge to me, okay?
Girl.
I'm like, why are they so big?
Oh, and it hurts? Yeah.
Yeah.
I get them hurt titties.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're big. They hurt. I get like clumsy. Like I just like all of a sudden spatial reasoning just doesn't make sense to me.
This is now girl talk, you guys. We're hijacking the podcast.
Sorry, I mean, this is very. Most of our
Right,
audience is
right.
like older dads who like paint Warhammer figurines in their basements. So it's for you guys.
It's going pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm gonna take this.
Right? It's a little warm in here.
Yeah, sorry. So because we're podcasting, there's no AC happening right now, so we're just gonna get very dewy on this podcast.
I have
We're
really
roasting.
familiar with that though.
It's fun.
Like whenever we film too, it's like okay, everything's gotta be turned off because
Yeah.
it just interferes with the mics too much. And
Yeah,
you feel it.
same. I just have that big ass cyclone fan that you can't.
So one of my questions, I'm sorry if I just
Yeah,
interrupted
go
you.
ahead.
No, it dovetails so perfectly though. Is like, what is it like to work and create with a partner? Because like a romantic partner. Because Amanda and I were, best friends before we created the podcast. So, and it's like I feel like it's really like enriched our friendship.
Yeah.
Really?
I hope so.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, cool. Amanda, do you feel the same way?
Yeah.
No, hey! Don't sound so tentative.
No,
She's very enthusiastic, listeners.
It's just nice to hear you say that.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, did I not tell you enough? How about, never mind. We'll do this later.
So,
Please.
I'm gonna go ahead and take this question first, because Michael has started this on his own before I came into the picture.
So how long have you both been doing it together?
Well, we've been married now 2 years.
But
so
about
it's been
about a
about
year.
2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
maybe
we-
about a year.
So, yeah, about a year of making videos all the time,
Okay,
regularly.
okay.
Yeah.
So when I say regularly, we're not full time, like every day. Probably about once a week for sure.
Wow.
Sometimes twice a week.
Yeah.
That is consistent.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I first joined, it definitely felt like I didn't want to, infringe on the creativity. But he was like, "No, I want it to be about us," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't like being in front of the camera, so why are you doing this to me?"
I'm constantly shoving the camera in her face, going, "Do you want to say anything?" And she's like, "No, just say something."
I
Yeah.
Well, because sometimes he'll be really excited about something. I'm over here like, cool.
It's a grave.
Yeah.
call.
I mean, it just, my moods and depends on how I'm feeling on that day. Because I get sick a lot, so that sucks. And
Especially when you're traveling, that's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's
but
tough.
like, I also felt like it was like his baby, And I was like, well, I want to help. I'll help behind the scenes, but like, I want it to be still about you. And he's like, no, I want you getting it with me. So I think in the beginning, I was always like deer in headlights,
Yeah.
I've always felt really uncomfortable in front of the camera. I've always been a behind the scenes person, is where I've always felt like I shall love you. So I've gotten used to it, but like I seriously have committed myself to just being the comic relief in the background, like fucking off and being like, take it away, Bob. Okay, you can talk now.
A lot of the videos that we shot, especially recently, today we're doing the Dawn of the Dead filming locations. You can see her in the background just being like a zombie. And, it was hilarious.
That's cute.
We started doing this thing. Well, let me backtrack a little bit.
Sure.
I like having her a part of it. I want her to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Me growing up, there aren't many pictures or video of me as a kid.
Same.
And even to this day, like, digital age, there's tons of pictures, but,
Yeah.
and the same thing with her, not many pictures growing up, so this has become for me like a video diary of our adventures through life together.
Yeah.
You know, someday whenever we pass away, you know, this can be what we leave behind. So I want her in it as much as possible.
God damn it.
I gotta say,
My period. Oh my god, you guys are so sweet. Please continue.
I mean, we can be gross.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear what we collect?
I was just about
Yes!
to say, speaking of which, let's get into the gross part. So, the GrimmLifeCollective. Yeah, you guys, basically, you were talking about adventures. You kind of take some adventures into the macabre, the supernatural, the creepy. I know that some of the videos I watched, you go to anywhere from sort of like notable, like sort of like sites where a witch was buried here, to like you go like you're talking about going to DC to go to the Exorcist steps.
Correct.
So it's a pretty wide variety of stuff. Can you kind of talk about like kind of how you choose the sites where you go and like why?
We get asked this question a lot.
Okay.
And, you know, we run the gambit. And I think we probably started really touching on this in the live videos we've started doing recently on the road.
Yeah, we get that question a lot.
If you watch our channel, there's things in there where we're going to Disney and we're having fun at Disney. And people are like, what? And then we're going from there to murder sites. We did a video where we took 4 days and we went to Disney and visited princesses and danced with Mickey Mouse. And then the very next day, we drove across the state of Florida visiting Ted Bundy murder locations.
Oh.
So it's like we film what we love.
Yeah.
And if you're watching, you're on it for the ride. We have people saying, I never know what you guys are doing next, but it's fun. So
Oh, that's awesome.
that means a lot to us, you know?
I mean, that's kind of how we work too, because it's like we do a variety of stuff, so we really respect that you guys sort of just, you know, whatever.
Be true to yourself.
Right. We have like a really loose list, and sometimes, you know, like we'll take listener requests, like hey Tom, shout out to Tom, the one listener we always shout out. But Tom was like, you should do X, and we were like, well, I guess we'll do X.
Right.
Like I think it was cult or something. We just kind of like follow up on like what we've been thinking about, dreaming about. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know, it's fucking hot. Do you want to do something about hot things?
That whole like spiel you do, like you do that every time without like tripping up. And I was like, fuck yeah, man. But like
Not
I
every
love that it's so, like
I
know, like you call it a sex positive, like supernatural, and a lot of people wouldn't think to like lump those together, you know. And it's like us with Disney. It's like they wouldn't think to like horror and Disney. It's like, well, you know, I'm a super nerd. I've always been a super nerd. All you guys do is say Star Trek, and I'm like, hi!
Oh my god.
What's up?
Next Generation. Data was my first crush.
Right?
Yes!
Yes!
Yes! Oh my god. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hold on. Jessica and I are going to grab both microphones and we're going to just talk. This is now the Data Love podcast.
She watches Deep Space Nine. I call it Deep Dork Nine.
Yeah.
Sadly, I am only a Next Generation geek. It's very like tied to my childhood.
I discovered there were Star Trek comics today. I got a Next Generation comic today and a Deep Space Nine.
Do you see Data's dick in them?
I wish.
My only question.
Yeah, no.
He is fully functional. We do know that.
There's whole episodes on it. You're just kind of like waiting to like see a bulge or something.
Oh my god,
like,
just a little.
I mean,
I don't need to
David
see the
Bowie
whole
did
thing.
it in Labyrinth. Why couldn't Data do it?
Oh my god,
just a little.
David Bowie was like, "Oh, this is a children's movie. Sorry about it.
Sorry. Here's
This
my
is
penis
the
in my
outline of my penis."
Right, yeah. Just straight up.
Wow.
Like, close up even. Because there's like a kid or like a puppet right in front of them and he's just all in the background dancing and it's like this
Magic,
right
magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Dance, magic, dance. Here's my dick.
I don't. You can tell I've only seen Labyrinth once.
He was like, magic, magic. Yeah, basically.
Anyway, but yeah,
I totally would have dated if I was a real character on Deep Space Nine. Sorry, not Deep Space Nine. On the Next Generation. Because they make it kind of weird, like almost like it became he couldn't figure out human emotions enough, and I'd be like, "Bitch, you're hilarious. Come on, let's go to bed and fuck or something." You know, I'd be like,
I don't
okay, so
need you to
here's
have
your experience.
emotions. That's my job. Yeah.
I'd be like, "Hey, have you ever heard of the Kama Sutra? Because we about to do it. All right, like I'm gonna teach you some shit, you know, and
the
like
Data
sort of
Sutra.
things. Yeah, like I mean the possibilities. I'm like, you don't have to. Okay, so you're confused about like personal space and all that shit. That's cool because I don't need any.
Yeah. I let you inside me all the time. So
Right.
that's how much personal space I need.
I mean,
Okay?
he's a
Yeah.
fucking robot. All you gotta do is tell him to go home. Go home.
Yeah, press a
Like,
button.
Right, exactly. Oh my
Restart.
God.
Like, Data, this has been fun, but I need, like, you to leave. Bye.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, oh, okay, bye, bitch.
Yeah. Be like, this is normal in
See you on
human
the bridge.
relationships, and you're like, yes, it is. It's
Yes, it
very
is.
normal. I'm not being rude and weird right now. Yeah. See you on the bridge.
You know what makes me really happy, Data? Is if you were to do my fucking laundry right now. And he'd be like, oh, word.
Great. I
Got
love
you.
performing functions. Oh.
Right, yeah.
Perfect man.
Perfect man.
But so
Oh,
sorry.
there was a
Before,
story.
so anyway, back to talking about how you choose the sites and
Oh,
how
gosh.
you go about it.
Take it away, Bob.
Bob, I feel like I have to like address the speaker, you know. So.
Oh, please.
I don't know.
It's a Jim Lair
So
group.
picking sites, you go to New York City and everybody and their mother wants to see the stuff that everybody wants to see, like the Statue of Liberty. I'm more
Yeah.
concerned with what's behind the Statue of Liberty. Not that there's anything behind the
Another
Statue of
building.
Liberty. Well, like, but you know what I mean?
Inside.
Yeah, it's like what's hidden behind it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I do a lot of research, and there was one time in Georgia I went searching for the grave of a werewolf in the backwoods of nowhere.
What?
Yeah, but that video's been banned and it's been
What?
taken off YouTube. Oh God. Yeah, so
That's so
you can't
cool.
watch it.
Does somebody have proprietary?
I have it. I have
Is
all
it
the
the
videos.
Georgia Mafia?
I don't know. But we run into this issue a lot. Almost every video that we put on YouTube, we get flagged
Oh, yeah.
immediately. And then I have to go through and manually request them to watch it to approve it. I mean, you can watch it, but they deem it unsuitable for viewers or advertising.
Was it titled Werewolf Nipples?
No, but
Of Georgia?
if you say like grave or
Yeah.
like, it's, yeah, so
Because
I
there's that
wonder
one
if it's-
guy.
That's just what I was about to say.
Yeah,
That
he
one
kinda-
ding dong who.
Oh,
Japan.
like Jake Paul, Jake
I
Ryan,
don't even know his name. He's just some blonde idiot.
Paul,
Yeah.
Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Oh, the guy who went into the suicide force.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, fuck
But it
him.
seemed
in
like they
Pittsburgh.
got a lot more strict after that, and before I don't think they were nearly so strict.
And
Which
now they're changing it again.
It's good. I mean, you know, to keep material like that from popping out because you know everyone wants to be that next viral video, and most of it is shock culture.
Right. Oh, yeah, for
It's
sure.
not about hey, I have this interesting topic. It's watch me do this stupid shit or look at a dead body. You know, no.
But believe it or not, the people who watch our channel comment on how family friendly we are.
Aww.
Even
Yeah.
though we do like,
Respectful. We
You
yeah,
are.
we're
really
very
are.
respectful. We try to be.
Yeah, sorry we're cussing in this one. I'm talking about a lot of robot
yeah.
sex.
This isn't
Right.
an explicit
Yeah.
podcast. Sorry, guys.
Now you really know how weird I am, and I apologize.
Is this live?
No.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
sick. Oh,
But we're gonna
good.
be posting it later. Yeah.
Please,
Cool.
please
Okay.
do a time-lapse video of my sweat stains.
We're just
My
like
breasts will slowly creep out of
Zoom in
this
real close,
top.
That's really surprising though, because like I said before, you know, I watched them and I went into it. I had no idea who you guys were, and I trust Holly, so I was like, well, they can't be that bad. So I went into it, and then you know I saw like, oh, you know, John Wayne Gacy and Ted Bundy, and you know all these serial murders, and that can get real dicey. That can get real like. They can get real sleazy, and I was watching.
Yeah.
And I was like, "This is great. This is just two people having fun, doing
Facts.
spooky things.
Yeah.
this is wonderful." And like, I will say, like, you were talking about how it's very spontaneous. You don't really plan for a lot. And there was one video. There was one video in particular where you got attacked by swarms of bugs.
In my mouth! In my mouth! Oh, that freaked me out.
That was.
How did I miss the bug video?
It's like. It's seriously like.
Love bugs.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Love bugs.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah. There is two of them stuck together at the butt.
Yeah. They, like,
What?
Yeah, these two bugs. Imagine like lightning
Bug
bugs.
sex.
Yeah, lightning bugs connecting at the butt and doing it and then flying in your face. It's so weird.
Oh, they're like lightning bugs?
They look just
But they don't
like
light up.
lightning bugs. No, but they don't light up, but they look just like them. And
I think I know
mating
the bugs you're
season,
talking about.
They connect at the bum, and then they can't disconnect from each other. They're just fucking flying around everywhere.
Wow, they're fucking flying
fucking
around
flying
everywhere.
around.
Wow.
Fly fucking.
It's like the
Fly
Flying
lightning.
Dutchman, but it's the fucking Dutchman.
But bugs.
But bugs.
The fucking flying bugman.
Episode
Um,
title?
Maybe we'll
Like,
see.
I don't buy bite. You know, all they are is a nuisance. They're not invasive in any way. Like, they'll cover your car. What people complain about is driving, because you'll just hit a swarm of them, a pocket of them out of nowhere, and your car just looks like a massacre. And if you leave it, it will eat your paint.
Really?
All the bug guts, because it's so much. It'll cover the whole front part. So if you don't wash it relatively
quickly,
like you can leave it probably a day or two, but it will eat the paint of your car.
And this was in Florida, which makes sense. Yeah, the South is just. I'm sorry, the South is just full of bugs.
Yeah.
Although my dad lived in Corpus Christi, he used to do work, like construction work, and when he was in Corpus Christi in the summer, he said that the bugs were so bad that they wore like sort of like welly boots, because I think there was just like water that they had to work in, and he said that you would have to, before you put your boots on, like shake them out, because the bugs would just fill the boot. Like there would just be bugs in your boot for days, and I was like, Texas is hell. But no, it's really cool, and like so right now you're in the midst of a 2-week, like you're in Pittsburgh right now, and you're going to Tom Savini's
makeup
makeup
for like
school.
a week now, I think.
Oh really?
Yeah.
We got here. We left Orlando on the 24th or 23rd, one of the two. I can't remember. I feel like we've been here for a month.
Yeah, that's Pittsburgh for you.
But yeah, we're leaving on the 3rd, and then we should be back in Orlando on the 8th or 9th.
Something like that. Yeah.
And you said that you went to the Dawn of the Dead sites, which is Monroeville Mall. Did you go to the Living Dead Museum? You said you were in Butler?
Yes. All right. I'm so proud of this one.
Yes.
So we went to the Living Dead Museum in Evans City, but before that, we were doing all of the Night of the Living Dead filming locations.
Yes.
And we are horrible actors.
What? Well, to be fair, they were too.
Not like
in
us.
some ways.
We're still worse though.
So I posted on social media that we're going to be doing the Night of the Living Dead filming locations like they've never been done before. And we did.
It's okay.
And all I can say is, oh man, it's a great movie. It's a classic, right? But we went through and recreated the entire beginning of the movie. And
with the graveyard and
And then so when we edit it, it's going to be like our scene spliced with their scene, so back and forth. But of course, we had to go over the top and be the damsel in distress and like create sound. It's hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
Are you Barbara?
I discovered how hard it is to act, because it is apparently my face doesn't really like to do expressions very easily.
And with that actress, she was very emotive.
Yeah, and like we're doing all this stuff around old tombstones and stuff, and that's actually really difficult to theatrically throw yourself against a tombstone and like look scared, because you're just kind of like, oh, I hit a stone.
I had my little cousin fell on a tombstone. We used to go up to the graveyard near my cousin's house, and one time she fell, and she still has the scar from like from when she like fell on this gravestone. It's pretty wicked,
it's not pleasant for sure, but it's also the sweltering heat, and I think they did it in the fall, and plus we're just bad actors. It's a whole bunch of no.
I think they did it in the fall where it was a lot cooler.
The trees look a lot more dead.
Yeah, we did it at high noon for 4 hours with no shade, and we were losing our minds and going, let's do this. And it was hilarious.
That's a lot.
I just kept running away into the shade, and I was like, bye. And then I discovered like a cicada graveyard where they had crawled out and now I have a whole bunch in the trunk.
Hell yeah.
I collect a lot of dead stuff. So
Naturally.
I'm so happy. I love cicada husks. I think they're the coolest thing ever. If anyone wants to send me a spider husk, I would love you forever.
Ooh, spider husk.
Like a tarantula husk? Oh my god, they're the coolest things.
Oh my god, I didn't know that spiders had husks.
Yeah, so they molt.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's they just kind of like start wiggling and crawl right out of the center of their own body, and they leave an intact skin behind.
Oh.
Tarantulas do. I don't know if a lot of animals don't, and a lot of insects don't, but cicadas are one of the ones that do.
Right.
So it's like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. So they get their wings when they crawl to the ground, and then they molt, and then they have their wings.
Oh shit. Okay,
Yeah.
so if anyone has 2 tarantula
Yeah.
huts and wants to send
Tarantulas-
me one,
tarantulas molted and got wings. That would be so badass. It would be so scary at the same time.
just a giant flying spider. Jesus fucking Christ.
Right.
Would be real into it.
I'd
though.
be like, yes, and also, no.
We as humans can learn a little humility about the natural world. I feel like just give spiders wings, right?
Right?
I feel like it would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah. So what? And like Michael, you could take this, or you could both answer this since you've been doing this for a while. What is the strangest trip that you ever took?
Also, one of my questions. Perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, man. So, all right. I have a bit of a story for you. Do you remember Waco, Texas?
Yeah.
Okay, not many people do, which is
I was
weird.
a child of the 90s.
So I
Or late 80s? Early 90s.
Like if there's like a 2-sentence summary you could give, that might be helpful. But
of Waco, Texas.
yeah.
So 90s, there was a religious cult,
Branch Davidians.
Branch Davidians, which are still there and still active. They just don't have a religious zealot in the middle of Texas, and they weren't doing things that the government thought they should have been doing. They were doing things that the government thought they shouldn't be doing, and there's people that thought that the way the government handled it was wrong, and people thought it was good. It was this big fiasco. It still is a big fiasco.
It's a huge fiasco.
And
yeah.
it was just a crazy time.
Okay.
It was. Yeah.
Did you go to the Waco compound?
I did.
Ooh.
And I've been to a lot of places throughout the country over the past 10 plus years. And just recently we started videoing them. So we're going back and redoing everything. So we'll probably end up there again.
Yeah.
But,
One day, yeah.
so let me tell you about my Texas story. I did
Texas.
I did a 2-week road trip through Texas, sleeping in the car in cemeteries. And
And cemeteries.
right?
As one does.
Yeah. So I decided I'm going to go to Waco, Texas to visit the compound. And it didn't really dawn on me until, all right, so Waco, Texas is in the middle of nowhere.
It really is.
And in order to get to the middle of nowhere, you have to go down really long roads. And then once you're in the middle of nowhere, you go down even more longer roads.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find the Branch Davidian compound with signs that say no trespassing. Now, from what I understand, Texas is a shoot-first state.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I was thinking to myself, well, I just came here from Pennsylvania. I'm going to trespass. Whatever happens, happens. I'm already here.
Yeah.
So I go through the gates, and I drive down this dirt road to where the church is. It's a new church. And the old compound that was destroyed, the foundation is still there. The school bus that was destroyed is still there, half buried.
What?
It's crazy. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. So I pull up. There's nobody around. And
Yeah, you're really, I was looking.
I get out of the car and I knock on the church, no answer. I walk around the church to the back, no answer. I'm knocking, and I see houses, and I'm about ready to go down there, and I'm nervous because I'm like, I'm gonna get shot, at this cult. And like in the westerns, how you see a dirt road and somebody's coming, you just see the pillows, like the puffs of smoke in the back.
Yeah.
I see this
That's
coming
true.
about a mile away, and I'm like, oh shit. I just stand there and I wait for them to come because I'm like trespassing on this property. I'm gonna die, right? And I pull up. They pull up. There's 2 people in the car, husband or wife or somebody. She rolls down her window, and she looks at me, and look at me for a second, like.
Yeah.
And she says, "Are you the one selling the puppies?"
What?
And I almost shit myself. And then I'm like, "Excuse me?" She goes, "The puppies on Craigslist. Are you selling the puppies?" I was like, "No. No, maybe back there." And believe it or not, that was the scariest moment of my life doing Grimm Life stuff.
I want to know what kind of puppies.
Right?
Yeah, right?
I love that.
It was just all that build up, and knowing that I was there where all these people died, and out in the middle of nowhere, and puppies.
That's a fucking essay.
It's like a short story. I was just about to say, I was like, this is a short story that I would write, except you do have puppies, but they're like interdimensional puppies or something like that. I don't know. I write weird fiction, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It just is an ending that you don't expect.
Yeah.
I love that. Wow. Okay, well that was everything I wanted it to be and more.
Jessica, what about you?
I don't really feel like I have an interesting story, to be honest, especially not to top that one. Like, I'm one of those people who I feel completely normal in my skin. You know, like, I know that people think I'm weird, but I don't feel weird whatsoever. I feel so fucking normal, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, all the things that I've done that are probably really fucking weird, I'm just like, me on a Sunday. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things with, like, you guys hang out in cemeteries.
Yeah,
and,
like, I've probably
you know,
gone and, like, seen some really cool abandoned buildings and something weird happened, but I didn't look at it and go, that's fucking weird. I heard went, huh.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think sometimes I don't register things quite the same as other people do.
There was one time that I kind of got caught off guard by you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's not a big crazy story, but Punta Gorda, Florida, which is like
That's a name.
right.
Yeah. I was like, that sounds like something we shouldn't say.
So, Florida has a series of fountains of youth,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And in Punta Gorda, there is a fountain of youth where the water is actually radioactive. And we were like, let's go check it out.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm gonna drink it. And I drank it and I saved some and I was like, do you want some? And she's like, hell no. And like, it's not that it was a bad thing, but I remember for some reason I was like, I thought she was gonna drink it, but she was the smart one. Because it tasted like crap.
Did your jaw fall off?
This is the water fountain in the middle of the city, right? That
Yes.
one? Okay, so what you didn't hear is that it's high in, I can't remember what the mineral is, but, it's high in sulfur.
Yeah.
And the science behind it is that this particular sulfuric mineral is actually very good for your heart and your cholesterol. So people who drink it tend to have like lower cholesterol, better heart function, etc. So there actually is a science behind it of why they probably live longer and more healthily. But what you don't realize is sulfur is exactly what it sounds like. It smells like rotten eggs.
Oh yeah.
So you're releasing this little tap, in the middle of the city, and you can smell the rotten eggs. And I think it dissipates after a while because there's stories about people coming up and filling up jugs and jugs and jugs, and they let it sit in a refrigerator, and apparently it tastes extremely clean. And I was like, I believe you, but I cannot get over the fucking smell.
I would think that it's kind of like any gas that it kind of just like
dissipates,
you said.
but we did it like right out of the tap. Where there's no letting it sit.
Give me that fart water.
We still have some fart water at the house on the shelf.
Oh, great.
It just it got on your hands and you smell it and you're like, rotten eggs. And then you just smell it 10 minutes later and there's completely no smell.
Oh, wow, quickly. Okay.
Yeah, but I was just like, can't do it. I can't do it. No. Anything else, it smelled like something not like rotten eggs, maybe, but it was a strong smell. So it wasn't just like a little bit of a hint. No, it was, I couldn't do it.
Having scorpions crawl over your face wasn't a high point.
No, that was I was very excited for that. I was actually rooting for it.
Wait, so did it happen?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
We did Fear Factor Live at Universal Studios, and I did the creature thing. He did the thing where you eat the gross stuff.
Okay.
That's your thing, buddy.
Right.
So I'm not afraid of any insect, creepy crawly, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Same.
I mean, they give you a lot of protective gear.
Sure.
I was nervous at first because I'm going, what if they go up my nose? They don't want to make my eyeballs. But they give you eye gear, they cover up your mouth and stuff like that. So I was like, bring it on.
Yeah,
It's like all over my face.
I just went,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I've got goggles, like,
Yeah.
great, yeah.
You're so protected.
Right.
I mean, maybe not on like the bigger shows. You're really not. But this is inside Universal Studios.
Yeah.
You're not getting paid.
Not getting paid.
Yeah.
Got a
No.
little cup
Do
to
they
go
make
home.
you
Yeah.
sign a waiver?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they let me see it beforehand, and I was kind of going, okay, snakes, whatever. I've owned snakes. That does not creep me out. A couple of little, the big hissing cockroaches, and I'm like, okay, this is Florida. I can just go get one outside.
I was about to say, yeah.
Right.
Palmetto bugs.
Palmettos are huge, and I am the one who collects all the bugs, spiders, lizards, and tosses them off the house. You know, I'm constantly picking up things. And what was the other one? Scorpions, and there was one other
Tarantulas. Yeah, tarantulas. They had
I
some.
would have done a tarantulas, but I think they only had like one, and I was like, no, I want you to cover my face.
It's better for pictures.
Yeah.
Also, like, you know, the experience of it. So
Like she's like, I'm doing it for the gram. If I can't have
I'm
5
for the gram.
tarantulas, then I don't want 1 tarantula.
Right, so
Good for you.
It was like the most plentiful. There was like one snake, you know, there was like a bundle of snakes maybe. It was like a whole bunch of something, but the most I had of was the tarantulas, and I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, okay, tarantulas in my hair. A little nervous because it's like, oh, they're gonna be creepy crawlies. You don't really feel it. They're so small. You don't really feel it.
Huh. So, I think I didn't actually watch that video, but I saw the like thumbnail or
Yeah,
whatever
he
they
ate
call
like
it for it.
supposedly rotten milk and rotten fish and some other.
Are you making I can't tell that face you're
I
making.
hate seafood.
Oh.
Like raw, and it was like that's what I. Yeah.
I will say one of the worst eating experiences I ever had. I worked at Whole Foods for a while, and what they do is they make you like test every like department just to get a film. I worked in produce, but they're like, oh, you should be familiar with everything because we're Whole Foods. So the one day I came in and they're like, oh, this is your day to test seafood and bakery. So I went into seafood and I ate raw spicy seafood salad, which had like octopus and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is good. I like this. I'm not as weird about seafood. I'm actually vegetarian now, so it doesn't matter. But then after that, they took me to the bakery section and they had me sample vegan desserts. So it was like a basically raw brownie because vegan brownies are like super rich and super sticky. And I ate that and my stomach was like, you fucking asshole. I had such a horrible stomach ache. And it was like in the middle of the summer too. So I was like, everything in my stomach was just, it was such a fucking disaster.
I'm
But
like,
yeah.
bye, I'll be in the bathroom. Come get me later. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Those things are so
gross.
bad.
I didn't vomit, thankfully, but I could have if I wanted to. You mentioned you're visiting. You mentioned visiting Evan City. You're also going to the Tom Savini Makeup School.
Yes.
You're pretty excited about that.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tom Savini, local celeb. If for those who don't know. Yeah. Do you know Sarah?
He's like a hairdresser. No, I know who Tom Savini is.
I was about to say.
Yeah, no, and when he was younger, he could get it.
Yeah, I like.
Night Riders.
Here's the thing. I like me a short, swarthy man.
Yeah, right?
Give me a short, swarthy king.
Woo!
But yeah, and you might, and I heard you might actually meet him, which I mean, honestly, you can go to the Bloomfield pool and do that.
Oh my god. You know what? Okay, so I live in Bloomfield, and there's a cigar shop really close to my house, and I bet you the fuck what, Tom Savini's gotta be in there.
Oh yeah.
I just gotta like I've gotta wear a gas mask and protective goggles and just like walk in and
That's
be like,
disgusting. I can't stand it.
Tom Savini in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I walk my dog past there, all the like old men who hang out are always like, oh my god, he's so cute. They're like big, like rough looking like Italian dudes with like the gold chain and stuff, just smoking these like huge fat cigars. But they go crazy for my little dog, and then every time they see him, they're like, oh, little dogs, they're the best. I've got a Maltese, and it's like,
I've been commenting that like
so cute.
we'll be driving around just in all these neighborhoods and lots of dog walkers, so that's cool. But every time I see a guy, it's an itty bitty dog, and I'm like, what's going on?
I've noticed lately, this has been over the ever since it got warm out and the dog walkers are back out in full force. Every single man I see has 2 dogs.
Yeah.
And they're both small.
Little dudes, yeah.
It's very strange. I'm like, am I on the Truman Show? Is this like a thing now? Like
where I'm from, everyone's got big dogs.
Oh yeah.
We're like I'm from St. Louis, and I don't know, we just all own pit bulls.
oh, lovely.
I know, that's so sweet.
But yeah, so where are you going anywhere else in Pittsburgh, or is that kind of like?
Today was our last. No, we have one more day of big filming, and that's 2. Well, actually, yeah.
Oh no.
My brain's all over the place.
That's fine.
Today we've done so much filming. We've been getting up about 7, 8 o'clock every morning and filming till about 6 o'clock at night.
Damn, 10 o'clock
Every day.
tonight.
That's insane.
And
Yeah.
today we did all the Dawn of the Dead, and then we did Harry Houdini stuff. And
Yeah.
which was amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
I grew up here and I had no clue.
I was shocked about that too.
It's not just so. In 2016, 100 years ago, from 1916.
We are
November
now in
6th.
2116.
Yeah. So November 6, 1916, Harry Houdini came to Pittsburgh, and there's a very famous photo of him hanging over Wood Street, escaping from a straitjacket.
Mm-hmm.
But so we went down to recreate that, and we did. And it was cool to match up everything. But we also found out today, sitting eating lunch, that there was something even cooler that happened with him.
Yes.
Yeah. So, 1925, he did come back, and down on 6th Street, 119 6th Street, there's an old Bally's. But back in like the 1900s to 1940, it was a place called the Alvin Theater. And towards the end of Harry Houdini's life, he dedicated most of his life to debunking spiritualists.
Yes, there's a book about this actually. It's really good.
And that theater here in Pittsburgh is where he said that he would pay somebody $10,000 if they can guess what's in 3 envelopes. And there was a pastor here in Pittsburgh that said, I can do it. And so she went there, and she was wrong, and she was ultimately humiliated, but that happened here in
Oh
Pittsburgh.
wow! What would
Crazy.
$10,000 in today's money be? Like
Like
400
$500,000
million?
or something, yeah.
Also, you mean like an old Bally's gym
Yes.
Yeah.
downtown? Amanda, do you remember we went to a party in
Oh,
that?
Hot Mass?
Was it Hot Mass?
I'm pretty sure it was Hot Mass.
It's a big, skinny, vertical building.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like partied in that Bally's
Yeah.
God, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like
Awesome.
6 years ago.
We didn't stay long.
Yeah. So Harry Houdini, us, and a bunch of gay guys.
100%.
Awesome.
So that was the big thing. And then tomorrow we're doing Tom Savini,
Fuck
and then
yeah.
we're doing Silence of the Lambs filming locations.
Ooh, Soldiers and Sailors.
We're actually not going there.
No.
Are you going to the house?
We're going to the house, and something else that's actually really close to here that not many people know about it.
My house?
Yeah.
No.
Is it the zoo?
No. But there's something happens in the movie where the girl gets kidnapped that he puts down in the basement.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right.
Puts the lotion in the basket. So we're going to where she was kidnapped. And it's a private place,
Okay.
but we found it.
It's like
and
an
we're gonna go
apartment
there.
complex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we were going to go to Soldiers and Sailors. We were.
Okay.
But we've been running into a lot of issues filming with the camera equipment that we have now because it looks too professional and people see it and they go, oh no you don't,
Right.
and
You're
they kick
gonna
us
get
out.
like a permit or
Yeah.
anything? Yeah. Okay. That
So the
makes
Soldiers
sense.
and Sailors, which is awesome, which if you don't know, whoever's listening, that's where they kept Hannibal Lecter and he escaped and he put the face on.
Yeah, the big climax
So
scene.
good.
And I didn't think that going there around the 4th of July would be a smart thing.
Probably
It's a
not.
good
With
move.
cameras and saying, "Where's the murders?" You know,
Where did he skin that guy's face
Yeah,
off?
Right.
I mean, it's not even like the best camera that you can buy, but I think because we have the microphone on it, which is called a dead cat, it's this big fuzzy looking microphone piece. I think that's probably what makes it seem like we're a professional duo. But if you look at us, it's like, do we look like we're filming
I
professional?
think if you have any kind of like boomy mic, I think that's
it
when
just
you're
sits
like,
right
oh,
on top
crap.
of the camera. You know, it's a basic like you see people go on vacation with these. I mean,
Yeah.
they're big, but it's dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Is it okay if we pause?
Yeah, we're gonna pause for a second so her roommate is not just trapped upstairs.
Oh, shoot.
Would y'all like anything? Water, there's some ice cold Aldi La.
Brinzer combination you were doing.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Let me make you
It's
some.
probably a good time to take those out of the.
Yeah. Oh,
is there a fat tire
Are you having fun? We're having so much fun.
Probably not in there, but maybe in the fridge. Let me check. Wow, you guys got so excited.
Oh, by the way, I had so much fun on Saturday. I don't know. I was like,
I still got 2 bars left.
Should I do live?
Yeah, it was really
Right now?
Should I do a
I
live?
don't know
now?
how long we're on pause for.
So good.
Sorry.
I was really happy.
I was
Yeah.
I'll do it live.
I was listening to
I got the last one if you want it.
Sure.